Hello guys and welcome to Management Science to Success. Today we are going to learn the Modi method, the second application of Modi method in solving a transportation problem when we get all DIGs less than equals to 0. So let's start. As you can see, we are having a problem. We are provided with the cost matrix. The supply is given here and the demand. We are having demand here. So as you can see that when we first of all, before solving any transportation problem, we check that whether the transportation problem is balanced or not. So you can see here that the transportation problem is not balanced as the supply and demand don't match. So first of all, we have to make it a balanced transportation problem by adding a dummy row or column which is being needed. So let's start. So as you can see that the sum total of the demand is 425 and the sum total of the supply is 475. So we have to equate these two values, and to equate these two values we need to add a dummy column in respect to the demand. So we will add a dummy column where we will the cost which will be assigned here is 0. So we will add a dummy column here with the demand 50, and when we add all these values now we will get the sum 475. So we have converted this unbalanced transportation problem to a balanced transportation problem where the supply and the demand both are equal now. So now we can start solving this balanced transportation problem to find its initial feasible solution. And as in my previous videos, I taught you that the best method to calculate the initial feasible solution of a transportation problem is Vogel's approximation method, right? Vogel's approximation method. So we will apply this method here and we will obtain the allocations on which we have to work further using Modi method, approximation method. So let's start solving the transportation problems initial feasible solution using Vogel's approximation method. And the help you can take, I'm writing the allocations directly here as I've already been taught you that how to use Vogel's approximation method. So by applying the Vogel's approximation method we will get following allocations. The allocations we obtained by applying the Vogel's approximation method VAM are: at this cost of the given transportation problem we get the allocation 50, at this cost we get the allocation 100, at this cost we get the allocation 25, at this cost we get the allocation 5, at 4 this cost we get the allocation 75, and at this 0 we get the allocation 45, at 13 at this cost I'm putting these brackets to show at the cost, to resemble the cost here, that these are the cost, right? They all are cost and these are the allocations, so we can differentiate which are the allocations and which are the cost. So at 13 I got the allocation this, at this 0 I got the allocation 50, right? So we will just count the number of allocations before continuing so that we can check whether there is a degeneracy problem or not. So let's start. Okay, to check the degeneracy, when we have to check the degeneracy, the condition we applied is that m plus n minus 1 should be equals to number of allocations, right? Number of allocations. So let's start checking it, okay, whether this statement exists or not, so that we can identify that the problem of degeneracy exists in this transportation problem or not. So let's start counting. That is 1 2 3 4 5, 6, 7, 8. We are having number of allocations 8, right? We have 8 number of allocations. I am writing it in place of number of allocations. Now we will check m plus n minus 1. M is m, as I already told you, number of rows, n number of columns, right? So let's start checking number of rows and number of columns. Number of rows, as you can see, 1, 2 and 3 rows, plus number of columns 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. That means the total should be 9 and minus 1, right? Should be equals to 8. So you can see here that this is 8 equals to 8. So there is no, therefore there is no degeneracy, right? So we can continue to check the optimal solution of this. So by the allocations we obtained, we can first of all we find the initial feasible solution and the transportation cost, right? I have already told you how to calculate the transportation cost in initial feasible solution. So we will just multiply the cost with the allocations we got. Now let's start applying Modi method to the initial feasible solution we obtained by using the Vogel's approximation method. So the values which I have circled with this different sketch, 50, 100, they are the allocations we have obtained, and the values which I have put in at this corner of each cell resembles cost. So I have already explained all these things in my previous videos when I have explained you the Vogel's approximation method and the Modi method also. So you can understand that now we have obtained the table in which we are having allocations with the help of Vogel's methods. So the first step of Modi method I have already told you is to calculate the UI and VJ for all the by using the allocations, the cells which are having the allocations. So the method which we use to calculate the values of UI and VJ is, first of all we calculate UI for all particular rows, that is U1, U2 and U3, and next we will calculate VJs, that is V1, V2 for all columns, V3, V4, V5 and V6. And the method, the first step which we use to calculate the UI and VJ is, first we find that which row or column is having the maximum number of allocations. So let's start finding. If we see this row, this is having 2 allocations only. This row is having 3 allocations. This row is having 3 allocations. So they are actually at the same platform. Now we will check the columns also. This column is having 3 allocations. This is having 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So we are having 3 options. That is whether to use this as 0 or this as 0 or this as 0. So in my previous video I have taken according to the rows. So let's, as there is a tie in all the 3, so I can take any one. So let's suppose I take V1 is equals to 0. So by using V1 is equals to 0, now I will calculate the value of all other UI and VJs. So firstly, as I know, since we knew that the sum of UI plus Vj is equals to Cij, so we will use this formula to calculate all the values of UI and Vjs. So as we know, we are having, we will start from V1. So if I write V1 plus which one, I will start from the first cell. I can use this. So by using the first cell, for this cell I have to write, this cost can be written as C1 first row and first column, C11. So that means V1 plus u1 is equals to c11, right? E1 means v1 is first column and u1 is first row, and this cost and the allocation are in this c1. So we will write v1 plus u1 is equals to c11. So let's start. v1 is 0 plus u1 we doesn't know, but c11 is here, that is 5. So you will get u1 is equals to 5, right? We got the value of u1. Write it here, u1 5. We got u1 is equals to 5. Now we will use the same v1 by using the cell C21, यानी कि second row and first column. So we will write C21, that means u2 plus v1. Please don't get confused, I have just written it on the opposite sides, but the thing is same. Okay. C21, that means second row and first column. So the second row and first column is second row, first column. So this cost is 15. Second row and first column cost is 15. And u2, we doesn't know the value, we have to calculate, but we know the value of v1, that is 0. Therefore u2 is equals to 15. We also got the value of u2. We will just write it here, u2 15. Now we will use v1 equals to 0 for this cell. We are also having allocation in this cell, so we use this 3 1, third row, first column. So we will write C31, that is u3 plus v1. C31, the cost is 6. So we will write 6 is equals to u3, we doesn't know, but v1 is 0. So therefore u3 is equals to 6. So we got the value of u3 also. We will write it here. We get all the values of ui, right? u1, u2 and u3. Now with the help of these and this value v1, we will calculate other v2, v3, v4 and v5. So now we move to the next v2. For v2, we are having the allocation in this cell, and this cell is first row, second column. So this is first row, second column, C12. That means u1 plus v2, right? So C12 is, the cost is 3. You can see the cost is 3. So we will write C12, 3 is equals to u1. Do we have u1? Check. Yes, we have u1. u1 is equals to 5. So we will write 5 plus v2. No, we don't have the value of v2. We have to find the value of v2. So let's find the value of v2. Therefore v2 is equals to this 5. We have to move this 5 here. So 3 minus 5, or v2 is equals to minus 2, right? So v2 is equals to minus 2. Write it here, v2 is equals to minus 2, right? Okay. We will find the value of v3. For v3, we are having the allocation in this cell, that is C3 3, C33, C33. That means u3 plus v3, and C33, the cost of C33 is 4. So we will write 4, and u3 we doesn't, yes, we know the value of u3, this is 6, and we have to find the value of v3. So we will write 6 plus v3. So we will get, therefore v3 is equals to 4 minus 6. That means v3 is equals to minus 2. This is also minus 2, as we get v2, the same value we get in v3. So we will write it here, v3 is equals to minus 2. In the same manner, we will find all the values using v4. This is third row and fourth column. So C34 is equals to u3 plus v4. Third row, fourth column cost is 0. So 0 is equals to u3. u3 is 6 and v4 we doesn't know. Therefore v4 is equals to minus 6. Right? We also get v4. Write it here. v4 is equals to minus 6. Now v5. For v5 we have allocation here. And this is C, second row, and which column? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, fifth column. So C, 2, 5. Second row, fifth column. That means U2 plus V5. C2 5 is cost us 13. So we will write 13 is equals to U3. Do we have the value of U3? Sorry, U2. Yes, we have the value of U2. That is 15 plus V5 we have to calculate. So we get V5 is equals to 13 minus 15 or minus 2. Right? So we will write V5 is equals to minus 2. Right? Now we have to calculate the value of V6. For V6 we have this cell. So which is this cell? This is second row and sixth column. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So second row, sixth column. So C2 6 is equals to U2 plus V6. C2 6 the cost is 0 and U2 the value of U2 is 15 plus V6. Therefore V6 is equals to minus 15. So we will write this value here minus 15. Now as we got all the values of ui and vj's, so let's start finding what dij's. With the help of ui and vj we will start finding dij's for which cells? For all the unoccupied cells, for all those cells which are not having allocations, just like this cell, this cell, this, right? All those cells which are not having allocations, we will find dij's for all those cells. Let's start finding it.